Well, hello and welcome back. And thanks for coming back. Where am I? At the Marika Lounge Bar on the most famous street in the world. That's Bar Street in downtown Kato, Paphos. Now, are you thinking about relocating to Cyprus? Perhaps to Paphos, perhaps to Limassol, perhaps up in the hills, or perhaps by the ocean side, looking out into the blue Mediterranean Sea. This video could be that perfect video just for you. So, you've thought about it and you're thinking about relocating to Cyprus. How do you do it? That's the question, isn't it? You've had a look around on the internet, you've Googled this and you've Googled that, you've talked to the man in the pub and he told you that you can't do it. Well, perhaps he's right or perhaps he's wrong. But most definitely, I can promise you that he is wrong. If you want to come and live on the island of love, which of course is Cyprus, what are you going to get? Well, a calm lifestyle. 99% of the year, fantastic weather. You're going to get an outdoor lifestyle, relaxed and calm. Crime is very low, and a lot of people know that tax is very low, which obviously is a very good thing indeed if you want to have a brand new start in life. So, think about it. Come and join us on the island of love. Get all of those benefits. Calm, relaxed, low crime, great health service, and on top of all that, low taxes. So that means the money that you've worked so hard for will go that little bit further, and you can start the adventure of a lifetime. So, you've thought about it and now you want to put that plan into action and you want to come and live in Cyprus. How do you do it? Well, if you are from another European country, it's not very complicated at all. All you have to do is relocate to Cyprus and go and register yourself with the immigration services, and then you will get an ID number, etc., etc. So, for our fellow Europeans out there, if you're from Italy, France, Germany, it's very easy indeed. All you've got to do is just do it. But if, like most of the people watching these videos, are what's termed as third country nationals, in other words, they're British, they're American, yes, it is a little bit more complicated. Now, the majority of people watching are from the UK. That's our mother tongue, shall we say. Brexit, yeah, that little problem called Brexit. Whether you voted for it or whether you voted against it, well, that doesn't really matter. We all understand that the reality of what was promised and what has actually happened, yeah, they're not quite the same. Most people's lives are much more complicated after Brexit than they were before Brexit. So, many of the politicians, shall we say, were wrong, and I believe they knew that they were wrong. But that doesn't matter. That could be the topic of another video. Mr. Paul's views on Brexit, yes. So, Brexit has made it that little bit more complicated for you from the UK to come and live in another European country, in particular Cyprus. But guess what? Cyprus is one of the easiest countries within the EU to relocate to. Yeah, you haven't thought of that, had you? The complexity is much more simple if you want to move to Cyprus than perhaps if you want to move to Spain or to Portugal. And the income requirements, if you move to Cyprus, as opposed to Spain and Portugal, are lower. And the property requirements, if you want to go down the golden visa route, again, cheaper to buy that property in Cyprus than it is in Spain or Portugal. So a lot of things for you to think about. Perhaps you've thought about moving to Spain, perhaps you've thought about moving to Portugal, Italy, the south of France. I promise you, if you come and have a look at Cyprus, you'll understand that it's got all the benefits of those countries and more. As I mentioned at the start of the video, crime, very low indeed. And I mean that. Obviously we have crime, but violent crime, non-existent. The odd burglary or two, obviously, that's the same all over the world. But if we talk about some of these other countries like Spain and Portugal, their crime rates are probably very similar to the crime rates in the UK. And on top of that now, in Spain, as we know, you're not very wanted. You're not wanted by the locals. So if you want to get sprayed with water or a glass of wine chucked over you, perhaps go and live in Spain. Portugal, well, that's changing as well, unfortunately. The government in charge is starting to listen to the people and not liking that the people are not liking them, because guys like you are going there and buying properties and apparently pushing up the prices, and that doesn't help the locals. Although the locals have forgotten that without you, there wouldn't be any properties, and of course there wouldn't be any jobs. But that's another topic for a little video. Back to you moving to Cyprus. How easy is it, or how difficult is it? Well, what are you going to require? You're going to need some money. Now, there's one or two routes that you can choose if you want to come and live in Cyprus. The most popular routes, so the two most popular routes, is that you come here on what is termed as a Type F visa. Basically, you don't need to buy a property, but you will have to have an income, and I'll round it up to the closest thousand. So £30,000. You will need an outside income. In other words, from the UK or somewhere else in the world. You can't earn that income within the boundaries of Cyprus. Now, obviously, you can earn it via the internet, because that doesn't count. But you can't physically work in Cyprus to earn that 30,000. You could work offshore, or perhaps do accounts online, or teaching online, or perhaps jet backwards and forth from Cyprus to wherever you might earn that money. But that money must come in from an overseas bank account to a Cypriot bank account. So that proves that you've got sufficient income to support yourself and your partner. Okay, so £30,000 is that magic figure. Wherever it comes from, as long as you can prove where it comes from, it could be savings, it could be income, it could be investments, dividends, rental income, those kind of things. I think you get the idea. So, starting block, £30,000, which, by the way, is more than enough for two people to have a very, very good lifestyle in Cyprus, and probably not enough for two people to have a very good lifestyle in the UK, or perhaps Germany, or the south of France. Ask around, and I'm pretty sure that you will agree with me. So, tick number one, £30,000 of income. The next tick you need in that box is a clean police report. In other words, you pop into your local police station, or your regional one probably will be a little bit faster and a little bit quicker. You give them all your details, and they will print out a report, and that will cost you approximately, so I'm told these days, £70. And as long as you have a clean criminal record for the last 10 years, that is tick number two. The next thing that you're going to require is private health insurance. Now, private health insurance, most people go, oh my goodness, that's going to be expensive. And private health insurance is expensive. But we're not talking about the best private health insurance. We're talking about the minimum. Yes, you heard me correctly. You have to have the minimum private health insurance. Now, obviously, the price for that varies from person to person. But as an example, from the people I get to meet, they're telling me that somewhere between 400 and 800 euros per annum. Yes, not per month, per annum. So that is 400 to 800. So let's put it in the middle and say £600. So about £50 a month, and that should get you private health insurance for the year, and that's per person. Obviously, that's a little tick on that immigration form. What else do you need? Well, you have to have a medical. They're going to make sure that you are fairly healthy and clear of HIV. Tick number 4. What's next? You're going to need a Cyprus bank account, and you're going to need, obviously, accommodation address. Now, if you've gone down this path, obviously you'll be renting a property. So that will give you a fixed abode, and of course the utility bills will match your name. So let's say you've got the rental contract, electricity bill, water bill, all in your name. So again, this is another tick on that little box for that magic little visa that gets you into Cyprus for the next 12 months. Now, why did I say 12 months? Because you will achieve 12 months of temporary residence in Cyprus. In about the 11th month, you will start the process again. But obviously this time, all of the items are in place. All you've got to do is reproduce that income again, renew that health insurance, renew that rental contract, and Bob's your uncle, that's off you go again. And you can repeat that for 5 years. In the 5th year, you will do exactly the same process, but this time you will receive a 5-year residency permit. So if you go down this route, you can stay in Cyprus for the next 10 years. And that is a long, long time. Simple as that. Now, the other popular way to move to Cyprus, if you are a third country national, in other words, you're from Russia, you're from the United Kingdom, or some other country that's outside the EU, is to buy a property. But listen to me carefully, you can't just buy any property. You've got to buy a brand new build property off a registered property developer that is actually registered with the scheme. Okay, so listen to me again. You've got to buy a brand new build property from a registered property developer that is actually affiliated to the permanent residency scheme. Those properties will start at €300,000. Not a lot of money in today's terms, plus VAT, plus VAT, and other bits and bobs. So around about 360-ish thousand euros. So if you're going to go down this route, obviously you'll need some spending money and other bits and bobs. So you're probably going to need around 400,000 euros. But if you go down this route within 60 days of the purchase of the property, as long again as your credentials are clean, police report, etc., etc., you will receive a permanent residency visa. And that permanent residency visa will last for 10 years. And that, as I said before, is a very, very long time indeed. Obviously after 10 years, laws may have changed, bits and bobs may have changed, but we're pretty sure that we'll be able to renew the process very, very simply indeed. Hopefully, this has clarified the rental way and the buying of a property way. Now, if you need any further help, please drop it into the comments. Our contact details will be in the description, our email, our website, and of course, our contact numbers. So you can get in contact with myself, and we can put you in touch with lawyers, developers, and so forth. And remember, all the people that we hook you up with will be totally independent and not working on behalf of the developer or that particular property seller. They will be independent, so they will give you impartial advice. There's lots of services that ourselves at the Marika and Paul Lounge Bar on Bar Street can offer you, and this is just one of them. Immigration services, finding a rental property, finding a property to purchase, whether it be a brand new property or a resale. Perhaps you want to rent a car, perhaps you want to buy a car. All of these services are available to you. All you have to do is make contact with myself, Mr. Paul, or like many, many people do, they pop in and see us at the lounge bar. They sit down, they have a drink, and they have a chat. And of course, it's face to face. Very, very soon indeed, we'll be setting up a facility via our website, marikaandme.com, where you will be able to have a video conference, a video chat with me, and ask me the questions that you want to ask. And I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you what it's really like to live in Cyprus, what the property market is like, and the ups and downs, and the way that you can achieve your dream. Can I ask you for a little favor? There is a little thumbs up. Some people call it the like. Please hit that like button. It doesn't cost you a single penny. Please consider to subscribe to the channel Again, doesn't cost you a single penny. It just tells YouTube that you like what you've seen and perhaps they should recommend this little channel known as Marika and Me to more like-minded people like yourselves. Now, if you'd like to say a big, big thank you for these little videos and this help and information that we give to you, why not go and hunt us down in the comments section on YouTube. There is a little heart-shaped button with a $sign in the middle, and that's how you could gift us as little as $1.99 as a thank you. Or you could go and hunt us down on the Buy Me a Coffee platform. If you Google these magic words, Buy Me a Coffee, Marika and Me, up will come our landing page. You can choose to read a little bit more about us, and fingers crossed, you will gift us that virtual coffee or two. And we'd like to say a huge thank you, and we appreciate it very, very much to all of the guys that take that little bit of extra trouble. We truly, truly do. More help, more advice will be coming in the next little video. If you want it face to face, come and see me at the Marika Menage Bar. Whatever it is, I'm pretty sure that we can help you to achieve your goal and your dream. I'm going to say a huge thank you for watching. I've truly enjoyed your company, and hopefully you'll come back and join me again very, very soon indeed. I've got a little boy cigar. Obviously, I've got a lighter, and it's time for those magic words. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Life is good on the island of love. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you again in the next one. It truly is.